Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to the top 5 wildest courtroom sentencing hearings. Now, I've done a couple of these videos before and I've always enjoyed watching them. I'm fascinated by, what goes on in a courtroom, how, what is the schedule of things, how do things run, and also to see the defendants and the victims, and just to get a real feel of the emotion that, that both sides are going through, the shock of getting a life sentence, but also that feeling of vindication that the victim or the victim's family can feel by seeing the perpetrator going down for what they did. I find it very, very fascinating to watch, and this video has been recommended to me. Someone sent it to me on Instagram. Really appreciate it, and it looks very, very good. I've only glanced at it a little bit, and it does look really, really entertaining. I'm not sure entertaining is the right word. It just looks really thrilling. So yeah, let's do it.
Nice cheat shot. You a coward. Nice cheat. You a coward.
Excuse me. Smallit,
Wow.
the ERT team, emergency response team. We handle all the high-profile guys.
I put her in the Tennessee River. That's what I put her.
Most courtroom hearings are slow, boring, and frankly quite depressing. However, at times, some people just really surprise us with their wild actions and reactions in court. Let's take a look at the top 5 wildest sentence hearings. Number 5. Jussie Smallit.
I remember
Jussie
this
Smallit
guy.
spent his first night behind bars after a judge sentenced him to 5 months for faking a racist and homophobic attack.
What an idiot.
The sentence hearing ended dramatically as the former Empire actor stood up at the defense table as his lawyers and sheriff's deputies surrounded him and defiantly maintained his innocence.
Just
The
ruined his
39-year-old
career.
was expressionless, and his family and others in the courtroom appeared stunned as Cook County Judge James Lynn handed down sentencing. You will spend the first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail, and that will start today. Right here, right now, Lynn said. In considering the sentence, Lynn said Smallit's extreme premeditation of the crime was an aggravating factor. He also said the actor had denigrated the experiences of real hate crime victims, calling him a
Absolutely.
charlatan and a liar. You got on the witness stand. You didn't have to. You did. You certainly had a right to, but you committed hour upon hour upon hour of perjury, Lynn said. While in jail, Smallit also began 30 months of probation in addition to being ordered to pay more than $120,000 in restitution to the city of Chicago and a $25,000 fine. The sentence came 3 months after Smallit was convicted of 5 counts of felony disorderly conduct for lying to Chicago police. Witnesses at his trial included 2 brothers who told jurors Smallit paid them to carry out the attack, gave them money for the ski masks and rope, instructed them to fashion the rope into a noose. Prosecutors said he told them what racist and phobic slurs to shout and to yell that Smallit was in MAGA country, a reference to the campaign slogan of Donald Trump's presidential campaign. The disgraced actor then addressed the court. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
I am not suicidal.
Smallit, we're the ERT team, emergency response team. We handle all the high-profile guys.
Number 4, Bryce.
Why did he do this? He's ruined his career. Like, what was he thinking? He can't. He's got to be a bit mentally ill, I would think. Because why else would you throw your career away?
Rhodes. A man accused of taking 3 lives, whom has a history of courtroom outbursts and threats, was at it again. Bryce Rhodes became combative with Jefferson Circuit Court Judge Charles Cunningham after it became apparent Cunningham was not going to rule from the bench that day on several motions Rhodes wrote and filed on his own, including the removal of his attorney. Judge Cunningham sighed but appeared unfazed. Rhodes is accused of fatally shooting Christopher Jones, 40, in 2016 in front of several people and then fatally knifing 2 of the witnesses, brothers Larry Ordway, 14, and Maurice Gordon, 16, before burning their bodies. For a while, Rhodes had to wear a face mask during court appearances because he spit on his first attorney. He is now on his 3rd attorney and has filed a motion to have that public defender removed. I just ask you, why do you keep refusing to get this man off my case when we keep having problems? Rhodes asked. Do you have something special against me where you don't want to move him? No, sir, I have something personal against not providing you effective assistance and counsel, Cunningham replied. Other motions written and filed by Rhodes allege perjury by detectives and the prosecutor in the case, and asked for the case to be dismissed. Rhodes became increasingly agitated in court when it appeared Cunningham was not going to rule immediately on his motions, at one point threatening to file a complaint with the Bar Association and the ACLU. Let's watch.
Nice cheat shot. You a coward. Nice cheat. You a coward.
Number 3, Philip Snyder.
Crazy,
Philip
man.
Snyder, the 73-year-old man who was
Being a public defendant must be so difficult. You just you just given somebody randomly and then you just have to defend them no matter what they did.
convicted of taking the life of his wife of 53 years, Roberta Bobby Snyder, took great pains to get away with his crime, according to confessions he shared with an undercover female police officer who secretly recorded him over cups of coffee at fast food restaurants in and around Hartford, Ohio. His undoing would be trusting the undercover officer who befriended him after he attempted to take his own life following his wife's passing. Snyder, who grew to want to marry the undercover officer as they spent more time together, told her the story of how he took the life of his wife, emphasizing several times it was just a scenario. He said while his wife was sleeping on a love seat, he covered her head with a cloth before hitting her in the head with a 2-pound steak hammer. Snyder said he then put a plastic bag over her head to keep blood from getting on too many things and rolled her onto plastic onto the floor. In the scenario, he said he took her body and other things that had blood on them, like a throw pillow and a lampshade, and got rid of them. But it took some time before he would come clean on what he did with the body of his wife of 5 decades.
He told all of this to the undercover cop. Wow, man, he just gave himself up.
In contrast, Snyder's official story he had shared with police and Roberta's family had changed a few times in regard to what happened to his wife, but it was always fishy. Snyder eventually led police to a bar and restaurant in Bullitt County, Kentucky, where he said he dumped his wife's body. She is believed to have ended up in a landfill. Snyder told the undercover officer that when he took her life, "I didn't snap, I was just numb, I was fed up." Snyder made a deal and pleaded guilty to the aggravated crime, damaging a corpse and tampering with evidence in exchange for his 20-year sentence with the chance of parole in 2038. He will be 93 then if he's still alive. He's serving his sentence at Richland Correctional Institute in Ohio. Let's take a look at his sentencing.
Is there anything that you would like to say prior to the sentencing? To the area where you placed her in the Tennessee River?
If I have to, yes.
If I have to.
I put her in the Tennessee River.
He put her in the Tennessee River.
I put her.
He is not the man who raised me, teaching me many things, of which one was to have honor and respect.
That's a song,
Number 2,
right?
Leonard Grizov. The Russian
Imagine
man
if
in
Dad
court
did
for
that.
taking the life of his sister tried to miraculously escape through the ceiling while the trial was still going on. In 2019, then 18-year-old Leonard Grizov sat inside a
He's 18 here. Wow.
glass-walled box at Sherbinski Court and thought he could just sneak out with everyone looking at him. As shown in the video, a number of police officers were quick to observe the Russian's getaway attempt and caught his leg before he got too far through
He
the
actually
tiled
got
ceiling. His
through.
trousers were seemingly lost in the process. Whilst one policeman grabbed Grazer's legs, the other officer calls for backup,
How
with
did
him
he get
managing
so
to shake
far
out
up?
of his trousers and free a leg. Until help arrived, the officer was able to hold him down and backup managed to hit the Russian with a taser in order to subdue him. Grizov then agreed to come down and managed to shimmy himself back into the box. While putting his trousers
Unreal.
back up, he was then immediately handcuffed to prevent any further escapes.
But how did he get so far up there? Like, he got pretty, a little bit more time and he would have got through.
Grizer's case was a horrific one. He claimed he was ordered by Satan to take the life of his 21-year-old sister, Ariada Korol.
Oh my God.
At the scene of the crime, witnesses claim that before police backup arrived, Grizov undressed whilst drawing demonic symbols in blood on his sister's body and his head.
What the
According
hell?
to the witnesses, he was asking to free him from Satan. In a confession to Russian police, he was said to not mention Satan, but said the passing of his sister was necessary and he did what he had to do. In
Evil.
September 2020,
Your
Grizov
own
was
sister.
sentenced to compulsory psychiatric medical treatment by Sherbinski District Court in Moscow. Number 1, Larry Nassar.
This guy.
The father
This
of 3
guy.
daughters who were physically attacked by Larry Nassar tried to attack the former doctor in an Eaton County, Michigan courtroom
I don't blame the dad at all that did this. I don't blame him at all.
before he was tackled and detained by security. Randall Margrave said he was a distraught father and cursed at Nassar, but Judge Janice Cunningham told him that he was not allowed in court. He then asked the judge for personal time alone with the demon. The judge declined, saying, "That's not how our legal system works." "Well, I'm going to have to," Margraves responded, and he launched into a sprint toward Nassar. Security rushed to stop
Don't
him and
blame
grabbed
him
him from behind
one
before he was
bit.
able to reach Nassar. "I want that son of a bee," the man yelled as he was being detained. "Give me 1 minute with that bastard." He added, "What if this happened to you guys?" The incident sparked harsh words
They
from
should have
Michigan
given him
Assistant
5
Attorney
minutes.
General Angela Povilaitis in court. "You cannot behave like that," she said. "No one can behave like this.
Look at him with his fucking crocodile tears. Get out of here.
I want to make sure it's crystal clear." As he was ushered out of the room, Margraves responded, "You haven't lived through it, lady." That's all for this video, folks.
Just wild, honestly. Like, it's a crazy, crazy scenario just to find yourself in, Like, imagine you're a prison guard and 1 minute the person is sitting in his holding cell. The next minute is halfway through the ceiling. Like, that Russian one was incredible. I'm still shocked at how he managed to progress so far up there. You know, if I would have thought he'd be shackled, his arms and legs, to some kind of fixture on the floor to immobilize him completely. And, you know, the first guy who got rid of 3 of his public defendants, insane. I mean, the guy must have, to be honest, most of the people here must have just, you know, not been all there in the head, just mentally unstable, or just plain evil, to be honest. Like that last guy, Larry Nassar, just pure evil. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.